Welcome back. Welcome in to the Lion's Share Podcast Wednesday edition ahead of NFL Week 15 and ahead of Lions versus Bills, which will surely be a massive matchup that will send waves across the NFL. A lot of people going to be tuned into this potential Super Bowl preview as people are coining it. It's the Lions 12-1 and it's the Bills 10-3. And folks, the Lions will be back in black uniforms. This is their second time with the alternates. They're busting them out again, bringing that Motor City muscle, as they call them. Can they make it 2-0 in the alternates this season? We'll see. We'll talk about that matchup, injuries, and give you the always popular predictions on the show, playoff picture, and discuss if the NFC North is the best division ever in 2024. We're without Mitch. He's on the PUP list again this week. That's all right. He's got his notes in here. We're going to hear from him in a text form. And we miss you, Mitch. We hope you're doing well out there. So let's get into it, Andrew. What do you say? BAM Player of the Week, as voted by the shareholders, goes to Dan Campbell. No surprise there. We'll give a little cheer for that. Oh, hang on. Where's that? Where is it? There it is. I didn't realize this sound effect was... I can't stop it. Oh, no. Mitch is having a field day right now.
Oh, I was just going to say, Mitch is going to love this episode.
Could not get the 36 seconds to stop. It was the pause button. Didn't work. Andrew, all right. I'm going to hit you with the wild stat of the week, and I'm sure you probably saw this on your circles. The Lions have committed the most pass interference penalties.
Not surprised on that.
Of course, got Terrion doing Terrion things with the flags out there.
Carlton plays heavy.
Yep. A lot of man coverage. And on offense, they have one accepted pass interference. That's the more surprising one for me. One.
Is it? Is it, though? I mean, look at how much separation each receiver gets when they get the ball.
Yeah, and you know, to your point, you know,
not even
these guys, a lot of these balls aren't very deep from Jared. You know, the way they run their offense, it's not really conducive to getting pass interference penalties. But that was surprising to me. One accepted pass interference for 5 yards. It wasn't even like it was a 20-yarder. It was 5 yards. That's it. We're 15 weeks in, 14 weeks in. That's insane. That one shook me when I read it. But also from Mitch here, we got something here from him. This is regarding Terrion. Terrion has the most man coverage snaps in the NFL at 239. That's a whopping number per PFF, of course, his favorite. No surprise there that it's actually it is a surprise, I guess, that it is Terrion with the most man coverage snaps, but certainly the highest in the league, but also highest of rookies too. So that's that maybe speaks to why they has so many penalties on his end, Andrew.
Who knows? But he's done well as of late. So I mean, he's improving, right? And I think that's what Dan asked for out of everybody: is come in here, give us everything you got, but improve day after day, week over week, year after year. And I think he's trending in that direction.
I'm right there with you, along with Jack Campbell. Calvin Shepard, linebackers coach, said Jack Campbell's trajectory is insane right now, and he's had the best month of football that he's ever had, and I couldn't agree more. Stepping up in a big way with Anzalone out, obviously wearing that green dot. I'm really proud of what he's doing there, and proud of that defense for continuing to be as strong as they are with all these injuries. But Andrew, good news on the defensive front and injuries as it sounds today. We got the injury report for the first time this week. Aleem, Paschal, Onwuzurike, Decker, all practicing, all various forms of practicing, though. Some of these guys not practicing in full, but just in limited practice, that being Paschal and Onwuzurike. But Decker and Aleem, full practices for both of those guys, so that's great to see. DJ Reader, your only Lion sitting out of practice today. So, and I heard he was doing some light jogging on the side, so while he didn't practice, he is out there, and so hopefully we'll at least have 2 out of the 3 interior D linemen back in this one. That'll be a big thing going up against a Bills offense that does have Josh Allen. So that's great. And Decker looks promising to play for the first time in a couple weeks, so that's great too. But we'll see. Some of these guys could be late scratches depending on how they transition over the week. But Andrew, is that music to your ears that we're getting some big boys back on the D line?
Yeah, I think the D line, obviously, I think Decker's a huge one. Just to give Skip a break, I mean, obviously he's puking after the game, so giving it everything he's got, but need Decker back. He thought he was going to come back in that game. They decided to shut him down. He said, "No worries, I'm going to be back next week." 2 weeks later, we haven't seen him, so that one's a huge one to me. But on the defensive line, I don't know what's bigger, Paschal or Aleem for me. I mean, I love me some Aleem. Don't get me wrong, but the jaw thing is just such a weird injury. It worries me long term.
Yeah, and it was surprising to see him pop up on the concussion this week, even though he came back into the game, had his helmet. So it's a little wrinkle there that we don't know all the details on, but it's great to see that he's full participant in practice today. I mean, that's huge. So that's great. I'll welcome anybody back on that defense. They're going to need him against a Bills team that did lose last week to the Rams, but still very prolific offense and defense, and certainly going to be chomping at the bit, ready and hungry for this one against the Lions with all the attention that's on this game. But so the Lions not at full strength, but easing their way back, and that's what you want to see. Get get at the right time. 4 games remaining. You hope Anzalone on that defense will be back here in 3, maybe 4 weeks, right in time for the playoffs. So, got to continue to transition and hit that trajectory. Along with practice, Mitch also added this note. Didn't watch the video. Sorry, Mitch, but I do have the headline because Andrew and I are just headline readers. So, Ezekiel Turner, one of the new guys, he made that big tackle on Jordan Love last week. Said this quote, Lions practice so hard under Dan Campbell, it feels like a game, and he loves it. So first time in, I don't know how many days, obviously with back-to-back Thursday games, this was the first time the Lions were fully padded in practice for a long time.
Oh yeah, I watched some of that video he sent, and they were basically just asking him like, what is it like intensity wise compared to other places you've been? And he said it's like nowhere else, no other organization he's been a part of. He said it's like he said he knew it was different that first week of practice, and said you're gonna do the up downs, you just don't really know when they're coming always. And he said his first day was the before practice, I think is what he said. So he said they're terrible, but you love them. That was such a great tackle out of him, but long term, obviously that's not where we want to be. No offense.
No, yeah, I get you. I think the shareholders understand, read between the lines there, what you mean. But yeah, we got Lions, Bills taking place on 4:25 Eastern on CBS, back on CBS this week, folks. Note that. It's going to be Romo and Nance once again. National broadcast. I think everybody's going to get this game. Lions and Bills don't play each other quite a bit or that often, obviously, with the different conferences, but the Lions haven't beaten the Bills since 2006, and the Lions only have 2 wins against the Bills since 1994. So the wins, when they do come, have been few and far between. Obviously, Dan Campbell and these Lions played these guys just a couple years ago on Thanksgiving. Who could forget that close game? And that was when the Lions were making that climb to be relevant again, and nearly pulled off the upset against the Bills, but did not. They lost on Thanksgiving, so Dan hasn't beat the Bills. Andrew, I forgot this wrinkle of this until I looked it up prior to the show here. That was the time when the Lions played the Bills in Detroit, obviously on Thanksgiving. But the week prior, the Bills had played a home game in Detroit due to that massive, massive snowstorm that rolled through New York.
I had just brought this up at work earlier today, and I kept saying like, because we were talking about how just the other week, couple weeks ago when they were playing, they had to have it shoveled out, and it was terrible again. It's like, yeah, don't you remember? They had a home game in Detroit. It was so bad. Of course, we all remember that game. How could we forget?
People forget, the casual fans out there. But when you listen to the Lions Share podcast, you get all this information, all this. What do we call that, Andrew, when we say something really, really good?
High-level analysis.
That's right. High-level analysis right there. What other podcast is going to give you notes like that? As I mentioned, Bills do come off the loss to the Rams, a heartbreaker last week on an upset, so that makes them 10-3. Lions come in with the biggest point differential in the NFL. However, the Bills have the second highest with a plus 129. So a true indicator of what a team's really all about. And someone dropped a stat muse in here. Was this you, Andrew? Or was this Mitch?
Oh, I figured you already had it, but just wanted to get it in there for the note's sake.
Gotcha. So here's the number. If you were wondering, shareholders, the Lions have a point differential of plus 183. So leaps and bounds ahead of anybody else, and the Bills are number 2 at 129. Lions are going to be in the black uniforms, as we touched on in the intro. I don't know about you, Andrew, but that's got me really excited, and I think that gives them a little bump here against the Bills, a tough opponent, probably their toughest of the year.
Yeah, the last time they were in the blacks, we're bringing in Calvin Johnson to the Pride. Do we have anybody else coming into the Pride tomorrow at 4:25?
Tomorrow, holy crap! The game times are coming quick.
We don't know when this episode's dropping.
Well, to your point, or to your credit, Andrew, the last 2 weeks the Lions have played on Thursday. So here we are on Wednesday. All of a sudden, Sundays are becoming Thursdays. So for the first time in a long time, the Lions are playing on Sunday, and that's the reason why some of these guys are able to get back onto the practice field. And so you take those breaks when you need them, and hopefully the Lions can be as close to full strength as they can without these guys on IR. So Lions coming in at 1.5. Why do I say it like that always? 1.5 point favorites in this one. This line, if I remember, now I see it at 2.5. So I'm seeing some discrepancies here. It's right around 2 points, 1.5, 2.5, whatever. Don't have Mitch here to clarify on that one, but I think that opened up at 3.5 point favorites, and it's inched its way down. So it's a little surprising. And Andrew, I don't know if you ever watched the Lions they do a preview every week of all the matchups, right, on the NFL YouTube channel, and then they put the picks at the end. I think there's 8 of them across the NFL Network. Last week, a lot of it was pretty split, Lions and Packers, and in the previous weeks, a lot of people, of course, taking the favorites with the Lions, but this week, 7 of 8 taking the Lions. I was surprised to see how heavy people are on the Lions in this matchup. Obviously, it's a huge one.
That is very shocking, especially with what Josh Allen's been doing the last couple weeks. He's looked like a world beater. That Rams game was fun, and tough to see him come out on that side of it, but 7 of 8, really. I think it'd be a little more split on that side.
You would think, especially, with the magnitude of this game and the Lions on their win streak as it is, and Bills off of a loss. I was surprised to see that. Let's talk about picks then. Let's talk about our picks. Let's go into picks. Lions versus Bills. I'll go first, then you, Andrew, and then we'll talk about what Mitch has got to say. I've got the Lions here. Once again, Lions and the All Blacks will hand the Bills 2 road losses in a row for the second time this season. They've lost their 2 other games this year. We're back-to-backs on the road, so I think it happens here again. For me, this game comes down to third down. If the Lions can take advantage of the Bills' third down defense and win third down without turning the ball on offense, let me say that again. If the Lions can take advantage of the Bills' third down defense, which is kind of weak on the weaker end, and win third down without turning the ball over on offense, they're going to win the game. They need to come back and take back Detroit after the Bills won 2 essentially home games against them in 2021. Lions take back Ford Field and get a big win in the NFL that'll send shockwaves through the world. Oh, I didn't give a score. I got the Lions 34, Bills 24. Oh my God. I'm in shambles.
How many
Mitch,
readers?
where are you? Lions 30, Bills 24.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Final answer. Okay. I love it. I wish Mitch was here to make fun of you a little bit. I want to hear some of that because he does it better than anybody else.
That's right.
I'm going a little different, and I probably a little different from most of the field out there. I'm going Lions 24, Bills 18. I think this is going to be a kill the clock type of game. I think they wanted to do that against Green Bay last week, and the run game just wasn't there. I was listening to, sorry, we got Murph. He's got a toy right now, so if you guys hear that, that's what we got. But I think they wanted to control the clock with the running game last week, and you heard Dan talk in the press conferences this week that he wasn't happy with that performance from that room. wanted more out of him there. So I think that's going to be their game plan. Kill as much clock as possible, control it with the running game. So I think Monty is going to be featured heavily. I think Gibbs is going to take a back seat in this one. And I think the Lions defense is going to hold the Bills to a lot of field goals. I think that's going to be their saving grace here. They're going to keep them out of the end zone for the most part. But if they can keep Josh Allen contained, I think that's what's going to win them the game.
Love it. Love it. Well, a little lower scoring than the last couple weeks for you. You had a big high-scoring one against Green Bay, and you nailed it. So be curious to see if you nailed it this week. All right, let's move to Mitch. Mitch has got here in the notes for us. Shout out to Mitch. He's got Mitch has a high-scoring affair, higher scoring than the rest of us. He's got the over in this one. He's got Lions 34, Bills 30. Everybody over 30 here. Feels like another game where we have to rely on the offense, he says. The Bills are going to come out hungry after a tough loss to the Rams. If the defense can bottle up Cook and make Buffalo run through Josh Allen alone, they can get this done. I like that. Dan called out the rushing attack last week, kind of like you said, Andrew, and he expects big numbers out of Monty and Gibbs. He's got the two-headed monster going strong here against the Buffalo Bills, and he's got a Lions victory 34-30. All right, shareholders, if you can vote down below on Spotify if you think you can predict it better than us, and comment down on our socials, Instagram and TikTok. We'll have our predictions in their usual format, and we look forward to, the Bills Mafia coming in strong. I'm sure they will be. So that's our picks. And now let's move to Fact or Fictions. A little rapid fire here. Newer segment. All right, Andrew, Fact or Fiction? St. Brown will eclipse 1,000 this week. He's got 800 and some. He needs 137 yards to get to 1,000. Obviously, that's lofty. But he had 122 against the Bills the last time they played. So Fact or Fiction, St. Brown will get over 1,000 this week.
I will say fiction. I'm gonna ride. I won't spoil that one. Fiction on that one. I think he's gonna need a couple more weeks on this one. Like I said, run heavy game.
Fiction for me and Mitch as well. Next one. Josh Allen will have over 50 yards rushing. He had 78 against the matchup last time against the Lions, and he also had 82 against the Rams last week.
If this wasn't one of my keys to the game, I'd say fact. So give me a fiction, though.
I'll take a fiction with you. Mitch is going to ride with a fact. He's got Allen over 50. All right, next one. Lions can stay clean and go turnoverless against the Bills, who are the takeaway kings. They've got the biggest differential, and they come in with a defense that is third in takeaways.
That's a lofty one. I'm going to say fact. Give me that.
I'll take a fiction. Mitch and you are going to ride with the facts. I'm going to say the Lions turn the ball over in this one. However, they win the turnover battle, and the defense gets 2. David Montgomery, fact or fiction? David Montgomery will have a certified angry run in this one against the Bills.
You already know, baby. That's a fact.
Mitch has a fact as well. I will take the 3. I'll take a fact as well. Give us the trifecta. I think it's brewing this week for Monty. Sonic and Knuckles going to be out there pounding the rock. Jim Nantz will make good on his tabletop promise, or table drop promise. Fact or fiction?
That's going to be a fact, but they're going to make a whole segment out of it. It's going to be weird.
It is going to be weird. Mitch says it will be fact, but it will be really soft, and I couldn't agree more. That's very well said. It's probably going to be a pre-broken table, a little stunt table, I'm sure, because, Jim Nantz is in his last season, so maybe he wants to go out with a bang, a couple weeks left. So, yeah, it will be Jim Nantz and Romo. That's your fact or fictions. Andrew, I wanted to talk about this with you. Lions, Packers, and Vikings. This is the stat heard around the world this week. Lions, Packers, and Vikings are 28-3 versus the rest of the league. It's a little bit insane. These teams haven't lost since October to a obviously the Packers lost to the Lions and the Vikings lost to the Lions. So those are your only losses. I'll put it up on the screen for those of you on YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube. But can you believe that stat? Man, that is insane.
It feels tough to believe, but I mean, I think we called this coming into it, that this was going to be the best division in football. We said it before the season even started. Am I surprised by it? Yes, for the simple fact of the Vikings. Like I think we all expected it to be the Packers to be where they are. I don't think we expected the Vikings to be where they are right now.
Not with Sam Darnold at the helm. But yeah, you guys have been all over this. Mitch has been pounding the table on this. I think I was disagreeing with him in our pre-show, the big prediction show back in August. I didn't see it like you guys. I didn't see the North being as strong as it is. And shout out to Ben Baldwin, the computer cowboy, for this awesome graphic. And I love, Andrew, you know what my favorite part about this graphic is?
Please do share.
Check out this part. For those of you on YouTube, you'll see, but we'll read it here. It says the title says the Lions, Packers, and Vikings are 28-3 against everyone else. And then subheading, the Bears also exist. So sorry, Bears fans. Tough look. Yeah, it's actually insane. And Andrew, I wanted to ask you two-parter here too with this. Is the NFC North the best division ever? What say you before I hit you with the stat here?
I don't really know what I'm comparing it to be honest with you. I can't, like, thinking back to the NFC Beast, I suppose, like a few years ago, they were pretty good. Outside of that, like, in just quick jog memory, I'm not sure who I'm comparing that to. That's the only one that comes close, but it's going to be a no for me.
Okay, so I think I'm heavy on this. I'm fully in. I think it's the best division in terms of the greater NFL. I feel like the NFL is kind of on a weird lull, and we'll talk about this when we talk about the playoff picture. But you're right, and with the NFC Beast, that was an incredible 2022 season. It was the 14-3 Eagles, the 12-5 Dallas Cowboys, and the 9-7-1 Giants, and the 8-1 Commanders, who obviously tied with each other. So it was an incredible year, and the Lions, Packers, and Vikings are actually on a trajectory that is greater than that. So if you see here, since the realignment in 2002, when they downsized from 5 to 4 teams in each division, the record for combined wins is that 2022 season with 43. If you count up all the wins, you count the Lions 12 wins, the Vikings 10 wins, the 11 wins, and the Packers with 9. I think is what it is, if I remember correctly. What is it? Yeah, 12, 11, and 9, and then the Bears 4. That puts you at 36 with four games remaining for each of those teams, and sometimes they've got to play each other, obviously, but they need 4 weeks. In 4 weeks, they just need 7 more wins. I think they're going to eclipse 43. What do you think?
I think that's pretty attainable, especially with these 3 teams. The Bears, and we know the Bears got a tough schedule, but they are going to beat up on each other. And the issue with beating up on each other is one of them has to win. So
yeah,
we're going to get some of those wins back.
So you get a guaranteed 3, because I think there's 3 divisional matchups off the top of my head. 3. So you're going to be at least at 39. So I think no doubter they hit that 43 or just over it. So the other one was the 2013 NFC West. It was the 13-3 Seahawks, 12-4 49ers, 10-6 Cards, and 7-9 Rams. So that was pretty good. And then the last time the NFC North was still called the Central, 1997, the Packers 13-3, Bucks. Weird to see the Bucks in the Central, 10-6, the Lions 9-7, the Vikings 9-7, and the Bears 4-12. The Bears continue to be at the bottom.
Yeah, if we're going to be talking about it too, let's realign the divisions. We were talking about it before the pod, but it feels like it's just about that time. We've got a captivated NFL audience. We've got a lot of new fans coming into the game. Thank you, Taylor Swift. But there's a lot of fans right now, and I think it's a perfect time to realign the divisions. The divisions make no sense territorial. They used to. It used to be okay. It doesn't make any sense right now. I mean, I don't even care if you reshift the NFC and AFC either.
Ooh, a little cross conference switcheroo. You hear that, shareholders? The baloney hath been slung. Sprung? What is it? Slung. The sling slung. The baloney hath been slung. Comment below, folks. What do you think? Is this the time for divisional or conference realignment in the NFL? The NFL loves to switch things up, so I wouldn't be surprised. Andrew, wanted to ask you this too. Got a bunch of them for you this week. Let's share the screen on the New York Times. I don't know about you, but it feels like to me this is the most clear the playoff picture has ever been in the history of ever. We'll get this zoomed in a little bit. So obviously in the AFC you have the Bills. The Dolphins probably don't make the playoffs unless they win this week against the Texans. The Steelers and Ravens, they're both going to be in. Somebody's going to win that division, but either way, they're both going to be in. Texans are going to be in because that division sucks in the AFC South. Colts might sneak in if they can beat Denver this week. The Chiefs are in. The Chargers are in. The Broncos are in, especially if they beat the Colts this week. It's pretty much guaranteed they make it. There's nobody on the fringe in the AFC. Like the only switcheroo you might have is the Colts and the Broncos could switch, and maybe the Dolphins find a way to sneak it in. But to me, there's no real story in the AFC besides Steelers and Ravens and who's going to get that division.
100%. I was just going to say that is your biggest storyline is who's going to win that division right now. That's the race.
And move along to the NFC. Obviously, the Eagles are going to take the NFC East as it seems, unless something crazy happens. The Commanders are also going to make the playoffs unless they fall off the face of the earth. The Lions are in the playoffs.
It's crazy.
Vikings are in the playoffs, almost guaranteed. The Packers are all but guaranteed to be in there as well. So the North's going to send 3, almost guaranteed. The Bucks, as long as they win a couple more and the Falcons don't win out, the Bucks are going to take the South, and the Falcons are going to continue to fall off and not win. So they probably don't make it. And then it's the Seahawks and the Ravens, Seahawks and the Rams in the West, and that division's fully up for grabs with only one game separating them. So
I'm
there's
not
a
gonna
little
lie.
bit more. There's a
I
little
thought
more
the
intrigue in
Niners
the
had
NFC,
more of a
but
chance.
no, the Niners are done, dude. 4%.
I thought they had a little more of a chance there. Crazy to see the Panthers not at 0.
Less than 1%.
I think that's
Less than
crazy
1%.
for me. To see a 3-10 team not mathematically eliminated right now is nuts. That division is pathetic. But the Buccaneers, I think them only with a 72% chance of making it right now. I think that's another crazy one for me. If you look at them just eye test wise, that's a playoff football team all day long.
Yeah, and the Falcons are not 6-7 with a point differential that is far negative. So, and they're going to get some tests down the stretch here. And the Bucks have the Chargers this week, but outside of that, they have a pretty favorable schedule. So, I'd like the Bucks to take that division, as we said. So, like I said, there's a little bit more intrigue in the NFC. Eagles, Commanders, Lions, Packers, Vikings, all going to be in, and then the Bucks or the Falcons in that South. And if whoever doesn't win that division probably doesn't make the playoffs, and same with the Seahawks and Rams. You know, if you don't win that, unless you get an absolute fall off from somebody, you kind of got to win that NFC West. So it could be, you know, in simulations that we've done, it could be that the Bucks, Seahawks, and Rams all make it. But yeah, it just, I don't know. We'll see. 4 games remaining, a lot can change. But it could be another opportunity for Stafford to get a crack at the Lions, and it could be another opportunity for the Lions and the Bucks to play again. Those are tough teams, and the Seahawks too. Seahawks in there too. It is a tough NFC right now.
Yeah, did we become Bears and Seahawks fans this week?
Absolutely. And you know what, Andrew? I think that's a great transition into our picks here in NFL Week 15. Let's start it off with Prime. On Thursday night, we've got all 16 matchups this week. The first time we haven't had a bye in a long time. So it's a full slate. Rams and the 49ers kick things off on Thursday. I'm going to take the Rams here. I think they get another win and go 2-0 against the 49ers this year.
Yeah, Mitch is in that bandwagon with you, and I'm going to sit right beside you two hooligans, especially after seeing that playoff percentage chance for the Niners. That's ugly. Give me the Rams. Next game, Chiefs heading into Cleveland, taking on the Browns. 80% chance of showers, not snow. That seems kind of crazy to me up in Cleveland. I figured it'd be snow. I can't wait to see Jameis play in another weather game. Ben, we said it before the game. The Lord is going to be showering that man with blessings. I still want
Bingo.
the Chiefs.
You get a little for that one. That was nice. I think it's still going to be the Chiefs as well. But I put this one on upset alert. Andrew, you touched on it off air. You said Chiefs play in such close games. Browns are kind of that sneaky team. We saw them do against the Steelers. If they let the Browns hang around, do the Chiefs. Watch out for the Browns in that one, but I will take the Chiefs, and so will Mitch, and Rain in that one, as Andrew said. Bengals heading over to Tennessee. This is where the doo-doo matchups start. The 1 o'clock window, folks, this week, it's not great. If you have something else going on, you're not going to miss much in the 1 o'clocks. Potential for some rain showers in this one. We got a 50% chance. I'll take the Bengals over the Texans. I think this one's stinky, and Mitch will ride with me. He'll take the Bengals as well.
Oh man, I'm sorry for the giggles. I just looked ahead a couple matchups and saw Baltimore what they're favored by. We'll get to it, but
Yeah.
wow, that's something. I will also take the Bengals with you guys. I don't believe in the Titans whatsoever. They've looked better as of late, but don't believe in them. Your next matchup, we got almost called them the Wisconsin Commanders there. Washington Commanders taking on the Saints. Derek Carr out? Question mark is the note. He did leave late with a shoulder injury, I believe. And Jaden Daniels back in Louisiana in the college state here. I'm going to take the Commanders in this one.
Mitch taking the Commanders as well. I will take that with you guys, especially if Derek Carr's out. I don't think the Saints have a fighting chance in that one. Andrew, the spread that you're alluding to here it is. Ravens versus Giants. This is your shareholders. This is the biggest spread of the year. Officially 16.5-point favorites. I don't know that I've ever seen a spread that big in the NFL. Honestly, I don't think I have. Even with the unbeaten team or the winless teams of the past, I don't think I've ever seen it this big. Ravens favored in a big way. Obviously, they're off of a bye, and what do good teams do? They win off the bye. So give me the Ravens, and Mitch will take them as well.
I can't say it fast enough. Give me the Raves with you guys. Not even with the Panthers could you get a spread like that. That's impressive to do. Speaking of, we got the Cowboys heading to Carolina to take on said Panthers. Nicey Bricey is the note. That's got to be a comment from you, Ben. I'm with the Nicey Bricey comments this week. He's been playing some sharp football, and the boys look like they've just quit on the season. Mitch is going to ride with them boys, however.
Yeah, controversial pick there from Mitch out on the PUP list this week. I'll ride with you, Andrew. I'll take the Panthers. And yes, Bricey Nicey is, he's cooking up something. Dave Canales, I believe in Dave Canales down there in Charlotte. Panthers have been playing close game after close game. I think this is an opportunity for them to get a win and build on something for the future here. Jets taking on the Jaguars in another matchup. Who freaking cares? Honestly, Andrew, I'd love to know your thoughts. I don't have any thoughts on this game. I took the Jaguars, but that's only because the Jets have only won one game on the road and the Jags have won 2 at home. So I guess I'll take the Jags.
That's way more homework than I ever would have done for these two teams. Whoa, I just blew a spit bubble there. I'm going with the Jets. Sheer fact of they've been playing tight football games. They should have won last week. Pretty sad to watch them lose that. And I'm still upset about taking them last week. I'm going to give them one more chance. This is the last week. Did you give Mitch's?
Jets.
Okay, there we go. Out of the way. Here is one of my more favorable matchups of the week. This one's going to be fun. The Dolphins heading over to Texas, take it on the Texans. Dolphins basically got to have this win if they want a chance to survive. And Ben, your note dead on. Who wants it more? I'm going to say the Dolphins want it more in this one, and Mitch is with me.
I'm going to zag. I'll take the Texans here at home. I was telling you pre-show. Texans are strong at home. Dolphins not good on the road. And for that reason, I'll take the Texans. But I do think that's going to be a high-scoring, fun matchup and one of the better ones in the 1 o'clock window. Broncos at home taking on the other horse team, the Colts. Talked about how much implication this has on the AFC picture. Basically, whoever wins this is probably going to sneak that last playoff spot. So I think the better coach, the better team at home is the Broncos. So I'll take the Broncos. Mitch will ride on Broncos country as well.
You guys got a 3-man saddle over there? Because I want on that horse. The Bronco, to be specific. Yeah, Bo Nix just seems like a better quarterback than Anthony Richardson. That's pretty much what I'm going on there.
Yes, sir.
Then we got our Lions matchup. We know what we're taking there. Go Lions. Next matchup, might get some rain in this one. It's the Steelers taking on the Eagles. This is going to be a really fun game as well. What is this note? Ben, you want to help me out here?
Oh, I just said I really wish this game was in Pittsburgh because we want an Eagles loss, and it's at home for Philly, so I don't like that.
Okay, fair enough. I am gonna take that home team. Give me the Eagles.
Mitch and I are gonna take the Steelers, black and yellow. We're gonna zig on you here. I think we're picking with our hearts probably. It's tough. I don't think Philly should be 5.5-point favorites against the Steelers team. However, I get it because Philly's been so strong. That win streak's got to end soon, and I think this is a good opportunity, especially if there's some elements. So I'll take the Steelers. Cardinals at home against the Patriots. Who cares? Patriots are off of a bye. Are they a good team? No. So I'll take the Cards, and Mitch will too.
Oh, I didn't realize the mic was on. Check that box for me as well. Bad team, give me the Cards. Next matchup, Buccaneers taking on the Chargers. I think this is going to be a fun game as well. I believe in Baker right now. He's a gamer. I'm going with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, I like where your head's at on that one. However, Mitch and I are going to ride with the Chargers. Spoke to you pre-show about this. Chargers, I just don't think they lose 2 in a row, and they're at home here. Tampa Bay going cross-country. I like the Chargers to win a close one here, and I think it fuels the Bucs for a win to go 3-0 to end their season. I think they go 3-0 after this one. Green Bay heading over to another cross-country trek here. Green Bay. Let's go Hawks. Andrew with another hot mic, his fourth of the show here. Green Bay and Seattle on NBC Sunday Night Football. This is a big matchup for the NFC. Both these teams got a lot to play for. Packers and the Hawks, that is. 40% chance of rain. Pretty much every day in Seattle's got that. So 40% chance of some showers in this one. Once again, I think we're picking with our hearts here with this one. We're going to take the Seahawks, Mitch and I. But I do think this is an opportunity. You know, we do know about the Lions hangover after a loss. I think it comes back after everybody forgot about it when the Titans won after losing to the Lions. So I think it comes back this week and the Packers lose 2 in a row. Hawks get a big win for that division.
Yeah, I will also go Seahawks with you guys. DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker, I think just going to be too much for that defense there. And then we got our other NFC Warrior, another NFC North matchup. Bears taking on the Vikings in Minnesota. Last matchup, the Vikings won 30-27. That wasn't too long ago in Week 12 there. I'm going to call them the Kings this week, but not Kings of the North. I'll take the Vikings.
Mitch is going to take the Vikings as well, and so will I. But I think this one I'd like to mark as my funky matchup of the week. It's a Monday night ESPN doubleheader, by the way, folks. This is the first of 2 Monday nights. I think this one could get funky in Minnesota, but Minnesota finds a way to win yet another one. It could be closer than the spread indicates, though, at -7. Second one in the Monday night window, the last matchup of the week. Falcons going out to Vegas to take on the Raiders. This one's weird. I want to take the Falcons, and I will take the Falcons, and so will Mitch, but it just feels stinky.
Yeah, between these two stinky matchups, you know how I feel about the Raiders. I'm gonna ride with the black and silver. I like those guys. I heard the stat today. Kirk Cousins has not thrown a touchdown in 4 weeks. Sad. And 8 interceptions on top of that. So not a great outlook for Kirk Cousins right now. They are not trending in the right direction. Give me the Raiders.
Yeah, that's what's going on with the Falcons right now. Sitting pretty good a couple weeks ago, and they've just been marching their way down. They need a win there on Monday night. So, yep, two Monday nights, folks. Remember that. It's a big week. The buys are done, I think. So that's our show. That's Wednesday in the NFL. We look forward to seeing all of you shareholders on Sunday at our usual time, following the Lions and the Bills, 4:25 on CBS, folks. If you want to tune into that one, it's a big matchup. 4 games remaining in the NFL, folks. College football is done until the bowls, so savor this football. And pretty soon, we'll have Saturday football in the NFL here in just a couple weeks.
And let us not forget the softest state in the United States of America, Ohio, who attempted to make planting your flag at center field in the state of Ohio illegal.
Disgusting. Disgusting. That's what your lawmakers are doing. That's terrible. Anyway, what we're doing here on this podcast is not terrible. So like us, follow us, and rate us 5 stars. Follow us on TikTok and Instagram. That's where we post the clips. YouTube, subscribe, and you can watch us in video form each and every week, twice a week. We'll be back Sunday. Let's go Lions. Huge matchup in the black unis against the Bills.
Meow.